Good afternoon.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Brandi, I know that you're the, what is your title at the YWCA after all?
I'm the Executive Director of the YWCA.
Okay. How long have you done that?
I have been here 9 years and love every minute of it.
Oh, that's great. So I know that the YWCA runs the domestic violence shelter here in Pueblo, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what domestic violence really, what effect that really has on our community. I have read a statistic that every 12 seconds a woman is abused in the United States. That's incredible.
It is.
So how does that translate into dollars and cents in Pueblo County? Do you have any idea?
I do. I have some of those numbers for you. It's about $9,500 is the cost per victim for the Pueblo community. And last year there was 2,324 reported incidents of domestic violence. That equates to $22 million for just the Pueblo community alone.
Wow.
A tremendous expense to our community. It's a very severe epidemic.
What else is included in that number?
It's included law enforcement, medical treatment, the loss of productivity to both the victim and the offender. So all of that is encompassing that total number.
So when you say loss of productivity, you mean when they're at work?
When they're at work and on the job, their mind is someplace else and not on the job. The victim is fearful that the abuser may come around. Of course, they're worried about their supervisor seeing him. They've maybe come in late from the night before if they've been abused. So all of that plays on their mind and their loss of productivity.
Oh, sure. So I suppose some of those offenders get arrested.
They do.
And so then they're not at work.
They're not at work. Correct.
So that's got to count.
It does.
Are there ever problems in the workplace? Do they sometimes show up at the workplace?
They do. They show up. They stalk them. The woman, the victim, is being brought in by her supervisor and asking them not to make sure that they don't come around, and that's very difficult. They'll stalk them. They'll come by their work. They will follow them to and from work many times. Wow.
So I suppose there are employers out there that are pretty aware of this situation.
There really are. Yes.
Okay. Well, so I assume, well, I don't want to assume anything. When the women come to the Y, how do they come? Most
of the time they come through two main avenues. They usually come as they present themselves. They come and say, I've been battered, I need shelter, I need assistance, and we help them. The other most common way is through the county sheriff or the police department brings them in.
I see.
And most of the time they come with just the clothes on their back.
Wow.
They flee in the middle of the night or during a situation that they need to get out right away, that they don't have time to pack a suitcase and their personal belongings.
So do they have children?
Many times they do. Many times they come with children, and they come the same way as Mom did. They come with maybe just a teddy bear or nothing. They just come, Mom grabs them and they flee. When they see a chance, an opening for them to leave their abusive situation, they come and just show up at our door and we take them in. We do operate a 24-hour shelter and crisis line. So at any time, night or day, they can come and they can find somebody here to assist them. So
what all do they get from the Y?
What they get from the Y is a safe shelter, nice, clean, safe place to stay, sleep. They get, of course, nutritious meals. They get case management, counseling. The children get counseling, and they get an opportunity to have a nice, nutritious meal. And most importantly, that what they both receive is a chance to heal. We do many legal advocacy, those sorts of things, helping them restore their documents, help them go to court. If they need court accompaniment, we do that as well. So it's an opportunity for them to heal and restore their lives and get back on their feet.
Do any of them ever go back to their abuser?
Unfortunately, sometimes they do.
Did they come back again then?
They do, and we're okay with that because we know that each time that they leave, they're getting stronger and stronger, and that they will eventually leave that situation. That is what we have found. Research shows that regarding recidivism, that if we can have the children and the mother get involved in counseling, it mitigates their effects of domestic violence and their education and their knowledge of domestic violence, which ultimately will lead them to not going back and being more independent, have higher self-esteem, and heal.
So how does domestic violence affect children? Do we see long-term effects of that?
We do, and especially without the intervention of child counseling on the children. Infants have a tendency to cry more and have eating disorders and sleeping disorders and sleeping problems when they are involved in domestic violence situations. Preschoolers have real aggressive behavior and psychosomatic illnesses, likewise with school-age children. And the one that I find the most interesting is the adolescents. They are involved more in high-risk behavior. Some become antisocial and get involved in high-risk behavior, which would be teen pregnancy. And we know that there is a large domestic violence problem in Pueblo County. There also is a large problem with teen pregnancy. And unfortunately, both of those in our community are very high, and I think there's a good correlation between the two. There's also truancy, delinquency, and substance abuse in our adolescents. So early intervention for our children is the best way that they can prevent further problems in their life.
If you don't know the answer to this, just let me know, but I'm wondering, do boys who have seen their fathers beat their mothers tend to do it themselves, or do they tend to avoid it because they've seen how horrible it is?
You know, I don't have a specific statistic on that, but there is a lot that reoccur or reoffend because they have seen that. It's a learned behavior.
So it is a learned behavior.
It is a learned behavior. There is a few children who rise above that, and maybe their resiliency is a little bit higher than others, but it is a learned behavior, and that they see their fathers doing that, and therefore they do the same thing. And
so
likewise with girls.
That's what I wondered. What
Yes.
about the girls? What do they do?
Likewise with the girls, they see their moms being victims, and therefore they too feel that that's their role. I did have this young lady who came and visited me, and she told me that she understood that it was okay that she should listen to her husband, and it was okay that he beat her. But one of the things that she didn't like was the fact that he spit on her. And she said that her dad never spit on her mother. That was the part she had problems with. But the beatings, because she saw that in her mother, that she accepted that. And so this is a perfect example of how it is a learned behavior. And so if we can get to the children at a very young age, letting them know that this isn't a healthy relationship, that I feel that there's some intervention there that we can help break this terrible cycle of domestic violence.
I can see that the Y is doing a lot to help with the victims of domestic violence. Is there anything you can do preventatively?
Yes. What we currently do here at the YWCA is we have a teen dating violence preventive program, and we teach the Safe Dates curriculum. And we're in every high school and every middle school in Pueblo City schools. And what we do is it gives them an opportunity to go in front of us, and we look at the children and give them and teach them the curriculum so that they know that what a healthy relationship is and what an unhealthy relationship is. And they take a pre-test and a post-test, and upon completion of that class, their level of domestic violence and the knowledge of domestic violence and the good and the bad of all of this is so much greater. And so we're hoping that by teaching as many kids as we can, this curriculum that will start at the very beginning level, because in middle school, our young people today are dating. And with the statistics in Pueblo, as far as we know, as far as 13 and 14-year-olds having children, and the risky behaviors that they're involved in, we're hoping that we can prevent this.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job, and I thank you very much for explaining some of this to me today.
Thank you.